Welcome back to another episode of the Briefcase in the Barn. We got a fun one today. Tom and Dustin from Wingerdan join us. They're a couple of Americans, and so we have some debates on Trump and Iran. Tom shares his story of losing his leg. We talk about the church, cows, the Canadian-American relationship, and more. So hope you enjoy today's episode. Let's get into it. Okay.
Thank you, Gary.
Long-time listener. First-time caller.
Welcome back to another episode of the Briefcase in the Barn.
Oh, no. Well, we should.
We should what? Make Canada great again?
Yeah.
How would you guys do it?
Elect Trump, first of all.
Elect Trump in Canada. So we got
No.
introduce yourselves and you're real.
You want me to
Yeah, you gotta
talk
be
into
close.
it?
Yeah, you
Yeah.
gotta be. I
Gotta
know
be in
that's.
it?
Eat the mic.
Well, I'm Dustin. You already know that.
Yeah.
Finn Wingerdan, and my favorite cousin is with me.
So you guys have a really unique experience in that you are Americans, but you went to high school and elementary school, everything in Canada, right?
Yeah.
What was that like?
K through 12, so that's an hour bus ride plus, right?
Each way.
Which,
Crazy.
I guess that's not uncommon. It's just we would just be driving. Right?
Yeah.
So it'd be like, all right, hit the border.
Like, looking back on it.
Are you kidding me?
People-
I used to be sitting like ready to pee my pants.
Oh,
Every single bus
I
ride.
believe it.
That's fair.
and I-
Well, you know, maybe in the high school years I wasn't so bad, but
Okay.
when I was younger,
yeah, I
I'm
don't-
still like that as an adult, so no judgment for me.
it just gets
Making
worse
it-
from
it
here
gets
forward.
an hour.
There are a lot of problems.
It is true.
The bladder
There are a
starts
lot of
shrinking.
problems.
It is true.
No, I had it many times when I was like, I got to get off this bus or I'm just going to pee on the floor here.
Yeah. So geographically, you guys are in Linden, right?
You're still there? You're still both there?
Yep.
Okay.
I live
moved-
within a half a mile of where I was born.
Yeah. Oh, you actually moved
Okay.
less than me.
Mm-hmm.
So you're really cultured.
I am. Yeah, I really got out. Yeah. If you know where the Markworth Road and the Badger meet, I have not
That's
gone
it.
far from there in a long time.
Got to hit 60 by the pool,
Yeah.
right? I remember that.
Yes, you are correct.
Yeah.
So when my parents went to Holland all the time, because that's where I'm from, I went to stay at Dustin's house
In the States.
in the States. So I'd stay there like 3 weeks at a time. So I'd get used to the 6 a.m. bus rides. Or
It's
every
weird.
time
We
it
didn't
was.
know about the psych ward, but we had them. So were we the psych
You were the same.
Yeah, it's like those crazies. The
Well,
Americans-
you were there too, so they,
Okay,
they had
I might need to
experience.
get paid now.
Have you been to the psych ward?
No.
I have been, so
Oh.
How old were you when you went?
an adult.
Wait, you were put in the psych ward?
I put myself in there, basically.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Horrible shape, man. And the interesting thing is, when you put yourself in and then you try to get out, they don't let you out as easy as you got in there. Like they take you in real fast,
yeah.
but when they're not keen to let you out when you're.
So it's not really a joke when you say, "Oh, I'm gonna end up in the psych ward," because
I mean, I think it's a beautiful thing because a lot of people in my life have been there for long periods, and it's obviously a place that is necessary for people that are in a bad spot. For me, it's like a lot of my mental health issues were related to a lot of my bad behavior and my own problems. But I had punched out my own windshield, and my hand was like just bleeding, and I was all cut up. I had had a drunken high episode of some sort, and punched out my own windshield from the inside of my car. And then somehow I still remember like driving to the hospital and saying, "Hey, like I got some issues here, man." So
And they helped.
I don't think they did, but I think that and this is why I think it's fascinating watching people try to help people. I think a lot of helping hurts people. I think a lot of
Yes.
life is just about hitting bottom and realizing you need to be.
I
you
agree
need
with that.
To be saved, and
You have
know
to
what I
go
mean?
through the stages.
you have to go through the stages. So for me, it was like I had a lot of pain and suffering. Much of it self-inflicted, for sure. Some of it just because of circumstances that happened to me. And then my journey was such that I do everything the hard way, whether it was necessary or not.
How long were you in?
Not long at all.
Oh, okay.
No. I've been to jail longer than I've been to the psych ward.
Okay.
No. Anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got really close to going to jail once.
Okay.
What did you do?
You don't know this story?
American stuff.
Yeah.
Oh,
American
maybe I
things.
do.
You know this story? I was like 19 years old, and it was back. So this would be like 2008, and this is when they had like this emo culture thing where they like the goth music.
They
and
still
like,
have it.
right?
Yeah, my
No,
dad. My
but-
dad was into that.
No,
Went out of
but,
style for you, but everybody else is still into it.
Yeah,
Dustin.
no, but like there was
That's
a
all
big,
black, right? The
That's-
guys that wear all black.
That's different.
Yeah. Right?
They-
Yeah, but they wear
Hey,
black eyeliner too.
didn't
I
go to
brought
raves.
candies for the third song.
Yeah. That is not for the third song. That's
I brought
one roll for the first
Yeah, but
song.
now where I go to church, we stand for the third song, so it's harder to have
you have stolpers?
Oh yeah, let's go. Yeah.
So I get like kind of jumped by like 30 kids. And I pulled my shotgun.
Oh, okay.
Backseat. They
I
ran
do remember this.
real
I
fast.
do remember this.
It worked.
I've had
Yeah.
a few of those
Yeah,
experiences
and
too.
then I learned a lesson about I'm an adult and they're not. And
Okay.
luckily it was like,
The cops came to your house later?
no, I ended up getting pulled over and arrested. And then released because of my favorite brother-in-law is the Sumas police chief.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah,
Cut
see,
that out.
So you're not that. Yeah, we'll cut that out.
Yeah, cut that out.
Good job.
Good save.
So Gary, for reference, Kim is my older sister.
Yeah,
and
I put
Jen
that
is-
together. I put that together.
Funny.
So who else is in your family?
So I didn't get to introduce myself because Dustin talks so much, but I'm
is
Tom
common.
Van Wingerdan.
One leg Tom, right?
Yeah.
One leg Tom.
He works at IHOP.
One of 11 kids. So Jen, Len, Lynn,
Oh,
Tom,
huge family.
Kay,
Huge
Mel,
family.
Hannah, Sarah,
Okay.
Esther, Matt.
Most
You might have to
notable
cut that
Marcus
out.
kids.
Yeah.
Who did I miss?
No, I'm just saying. You want to mention
Joe.
all of your siblings?
Does not
Joe.
matter. Does
Big
not
family.
matter.
No,
If- trust me, if you're in the family of the Wingerdan, especially these big months,
Yeah, no,
that's just part
our
of the
social media
baggage.
says about
It's part of the
they got
baggage.
an issue.
You're just a
funny.
number.
You're just a number.
You're just a number. That's the
You don't-
only
you don't-
thing.
you don't
All
matter.
right. Forgotten middle.
Yeah.
I'm going to say
All
that.
The
right.
only thing, Dustin,
middle.
like my whole frame of reference, I have a few shady memories of you being a meathead in school, way younger than me.
Oh, he
But
said
then-
the same thing about you.
To that, it's fair. You can share
A
some of those
meathead.
memories in a minute.
Yeah.
But then everything else was literally through social media. And it's fascinating how you, like, you know, your whole
Well, I
journey
said-
of dating and then not dating.
Your
and
journey.
I'm like, man,
What a roller
is he going to
coaster.
marry this
Wow,
one?
thanks a lot.
Please put us out of
We're
our
just
misery. We're
locked
sick of the
in.
dating pictures.
Were you just sitting at Sunset Manor? We visited Grandma, and she said, "All we wondered is anybody ever going to come along for him?" And now Tom's my only witness, but I probably married up out of any of us. I
Yeah.
really did.
We do have to
Yeah,
pay
Yeah, that's
her.
because you're so low.
I know.
It has nothing to do with how they married down. That's just about that's who she picked, not who they picked.
Boom.
But he will witness to it. I did.
You
marry
married a
up.
great lady?
Yeah,
Good
I
for
think
you.
every Van Wingerdan married.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. You're on to some.
So why did you guys go to school in Canada? Because a lot of people wouldn't understand that.
Well, because of the church thing. So I think if you back up before like we even were born, the little NRC in Linden was like, hey, it might be easier to just bring the kids from the Linden NRC to Timothy Christian School.
Okay.
And NRC is a church.
Because the Chilliwack NRC has the school. And it continued. And there was a point where we rode on that bus with 65 kids.
I remember it was packed for a
And
while.
we used to be, yeah.
I'm grateful for it though.
Yeah,
Peak
no,
years.
I have like,
What's that?
I have-
Peak years, there was a lot of kids. That would have been in like the
Yeah,
late
yeah,
90s,
yeah,
early
yeah.
2000s.
Why
Yes.
are you grateful for it?
I don't know. There's like, I'm sure it would have been fine if they would have found another school closer to where we live.
They are
Yeah.
now, right?
yeah.
My kids
They're-
are.
Your kids are.
Are
No, but
going.
there's the kids from the NRC church in
Oh,
London now
right,
go to a
right,
school.
yeah,
a
they
small
have their own
there.
school
They have
down
a small school.
Do
yeah.
some still come here?
Yeah.
A few-
Gerard still comes up
Yeah,
with.
a few are finishing out. There was
Oh,
one kid who
okay.
was the
Oh,
youngest
okay.
of a family, and it was like,
Is my mic high enough?
you know,
A
yeah.
little higher, it's fine. Yeah.
Just yell.
No, okay. Sorry, guys. Total distraction. Not important.
No, and I agree with Tom. Like, I can't go like, oh, I wish. It had like.
Just the bus ride, man. That's the only part
Oh,
that
it's
would
brutal.
bother. The school
Hey, but
itself
how
is
often do
great.
you drive it? Because don't you come like?
Not as I mean, I go to the U.S. a lot for work, but I mean, the idea of like driving even like to Langley or like people drive to
Mind's
Surrey,
numbing.
yeah, New West in
Oh.
bad, and the traffic is way worse now than it was when we
That's
were
true.
kids.
That's true.
And I mean, I went to birthday parties at your brother-in-law's place.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
one thing I always like Kaylee and I, my wife's Kaylee, we always talk about like her upbringing. She was homeschooled and she didn't love that, right? And I always imagined when I was younger, I'd love to be homeschooled, get all my stuff done,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
work, play, whatever, right? And
Every
but
kid would
she
be
hated
different
it.
about that, though, right?
100%.
Because some kids
And
love
my
being
wife was
homeschooled.
also homeschooled, and
Did you love it?
she has nothing.
See,
against
we
it.
had to go after the homeschooled kids to get married.
It's all you know though. It's all you know though.
No, but for my
But when
wife
I-
was an only child too. So
Oh.
like, can you imagine what this
You guys are
lady-
both like only childs from
Is it
little I know
spoiler?
you.
Yeah. I know, but like, can you imagine you're this poor lady that meets me and you come into the Wingerdan family?
Oh yeah, that's got to be a
That'd
hard
be
hit.
wild.
That's
That'd
gotta
be
a hard
wild.
hit.
Like, she gained 19 nieces and nephews the day we
Yeah.
got married. I mean,
That's
that's
awesome.
a big
What a fumble. Like
Good fumble.
fell into it.
Hey guys, just 60 seconds here for a quick shout out. I want to talk to you about my buddy Rhett Dolhan. I work with him at MDT Sporting Goods and is the main video editor there and videographer for MDT and has made amazing videos over the years. I really enjoyed working with him. And I also work with him on the Briefcase in the Barn. He was the editor for the first 20, 30 episodes and is just a super talented guy. And he also does wedding videos now. And so for a very good price, you can book him for this summer. And so if you know someone that is getting married, would you please pause the podcast a second and just text them Rhett's website and let them know that that's an option for them. He's booking to the summer. Things book up quick. So that's RHETTDOLHAN.com, RhettDolhan.com. So RHETTDOHLAN.com. Great guy, booking right now for weddings in the summer, very talented, and yeah, I can definitely vouch for him. So if you're interested in that, please reach out to him, and let's get back to the show. And you guys, what do you? So you grew up in flower business, right?
Yes.
Still in flower business.
Still in
All
flower
of you are?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So your dads both have their own greenhouses?
Yep.
Yeah, they started together. So they started in 1980 in Blaine,
Okay.
and they're still both in Blaine. But they ended up separating 4 years in,
Yeah.
I think.
It was a big
And
push.
basically, Opa
Yeah.
was
Opa
like,
from
no,
Wingerdan said,
Took
you
one
guys
look at
can't
all
stay
those
together.
kids.
Yeah.
Took
Smart
one
man.
look.
I know.
Yeah.
Wise man.
And it was
Split
a
up.
brilliant move because we get along. And that's
Yeah.
a good, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Yeah. Oh, there's something you don't. Hey, sometimes I get along with my wife either, so it makes sense.
Yeah.
We're not that close.
Yeah, so we,
So, sorry, just can I back up the bus?
yeah.
Slow thinker here. You said you visited your Oma in Sunset Manor, which is
Yeah.
in Chilliwack here.
Grandma.
Grandma.
Yeah.
It's Opa and Grandma.
Yeah, we ran a weird
Yeah.
ship there.
Very
She was from the
confused.
mafia, so.
Yeah.
Why is she in Canada if you guys are Americans?
She has 2 daughters up here.
Okay.
And we don't. So her church did not have like a rest home like Sunset Manor has, or
Okay.
like the church up here
Yeah,
has.
totally.
So it's just a better option. It was the best option. I think.
And
they
actually-
had.
So a lot of your family's coming up here all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All the time. For
Mhm.
that alone, just to see her.
Yeah,
Totally.
I mean, yeah. I think Tom said he saw you the other day at Steve's birthday. I would have been there, but I was on vacation.
Yeah.
But like we did come
Live a
up
lot
more
of your
often. It's a
life.
little less now, and like
Yeah.
it's kind of weird. Like Grandma used to be 2 miles away, and now she's 45 minutes away
Yeah.
if the border's not
No
12
problem.
cars
Too
long.
busy, yeah.
So
what
life's
do I-
busy too, right? I mean, like you don't have any kids yet, but you got one on the way. So
That's exciting.
Yeah.
That's exciting.
4th of July, baby. America's 250th birthday.
Is Trump
There you go.
submitting some more money? Another
Yeah,
parade?
no, well, he's giving me $1,000 already.
Oh, wow.
You do it right. You see that? He's giving,
Wow.
yeah. My boy
401k.
Donnie.
He just added to the debt.
We don't have health care, but we do.
Yeah.
Oh, trust me. Proliferant spending is
Okay, so
insane.
let's get into this. So what's the difference?
No, I think we need to do more. I want to hear more about the greenhouse business,
Yeah,
guys.
okay.
I
We
love
did-
the greenhouse
we-
business.
You love
I don't know
the
anything
greenhouse
about
business?
it, but I just know people in it, and it seems
Yeah.
fascinating to me. Has your guys' family businesses grown, or they have
Absolutely.
stayed pretty? Or
Yeah.
are they still
They're both
growing now?
grown.
We really could like swing for the fence. You could grow them big time.
Okay.
All the little guys are going away. It's just happening.
Is your business all wholesale, or do you guys have retail locations where you're selling?
You can go first.
This is kind of complicated. So we do have a garden center that's inside of our wholesale business, but we sell wholesale with one of our divisions, which is young plants, and we sell through a broker, so no sales staff. Then we have a wholesale division that sells to grocery stores, mainly like Safeway, Albertsons, Trader Joe's, Whole Foods, grocery outlet,
All small places.
all smaller
all
places.
expensive.
That's all finished goods, potted, right? So then I'm the sales guy for that. And then we have 2 garden centers now. We're opening one in Skagit. Grand openings this weekend.
Your own garden.
I'll see you there.
Your own garden center.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like
we
the same
bought-
one as
what's
the
it
one,
branded?
same one as the one you have in the
Yeah,
greenhouse?
so it's an expansion on the current brand. So we have one at our home place in Blaine,
What do you call that?
VW's Home and Garden. Click the link below to visit our website. And
It's on
then
Tom's head.
He's selling hard.
on my head.
Yeah.
Selling it.
Okay,
So
salesman Tom.
and then we
Big
have-
pansy.
We just closed on the new one down in Skagit. It used to be called Skagit Acres, It's south of Mount Vernon.
And you're
Right by
renaming that?
Tulalip?
Yes, it's called BW's now.
That's north.
Not that
No.
far south.
Oh, that's you know where that is.
I know where Tulalip is.
North
Done a few stints at the Tulalip.
invested there.
Invested.
Yeah.
Invested and left it behind.
Yeah, it's still in
They're
America.
holding it. They're holding it
I
for
left
me.
a few Canadian dollars.
And then what else are we doing? We started a software business this year, selling fundraiser program management. So it's
Could
a
also
SaaS.
do a link below to your cool.
Sorry,
video about
only for greenhouses selling plants or for any fundraiser?
For right now, it is for greenhouses selling to fundraiser groups, but it'll go to other industries once we expand there.
And is it patented?
It's not patented, but so it's hard with that kind of thing, right? Because you have to have
It'd have to
a
be so
really
proprietary.
specific
Okay.
Yeah.
like function within your software to patent it.
Okay.
But it's protected to a certain extent. The process is what we're selling, basically.
Okay.
And then,
So then fundraiser has like a plug-in basically ready to go. They don't
Well,
have
it's
to-
interesting. I do lots of fundraisers, right? And so
yeah,
most of my business
no,
is
and
not
I've
for
used
profit,
it for
but-
my kids' school,
Okay.
right? It's
Okay.
I
That's
hate
what I'm getting at.
fundraisers
Okay.
because they're so unorganized. So then the reason we built it was so the manufacturer can sell to the fundraiser and keep them organized, right? So that they stay organized, and then they have their teams selling under them. They sell and whatever, then they close the fundraiser.
But even though the money goes directly,
consolidate, right? And then we're collecting the cash the whole way through, the manufacturer. So the greenhouse collects the cash, and then when you close it out, then you finish the order, deliver them a check, right? So that they keep their margin.
Yeah.
And you're done.
Sorry, is it a percentage of the?
They set
How-
their
how
own
does this-
margin.
Yeah. No. Sorry. How does this? How you get paid for the software?
So it's a subscription.
Okay.
Let's see, pricing model
Roughly.
keeps changing, but it's like
Roughly.
$900 a month, and then we have a take rate of like 0.9%.
Is that the cheapest $900 a month?
No, that's the top end. 500. a
way
month
to
is
go.
the bottom end.
Way to go.
That's low. That's a lot. Sorry.
I
came
think
out
it's
wrong.
low.
Well, I've used like Octria.com. So like if you're running a charity event, like we do our school auction, for example, and
Mhm.
actually Timothy uses Octria as well,
Yeah.
the school that we all went to. And I mean, that's very reasonable, right?
So, but the fundraiser doesn't pay a dime. The manufacturer pays it because they're the ones managing the software.
Okay.
Long
And by manufacturer, you mean like
Greenhouse.
seller of flowers or
Yeah.
whatever. And
Yeah.
that's how it's
The,
set up right
the
now.
person selling the goods.
Yeah.
I think you use the reference kids and money like doesn't work well. So like this eliminates the kids from carrying cash and checks and things amongst a fundraiser.
Consolidate
I'll
the
take care of it,
confusion. Yeah.
Interesting.
Right on.
So you guys have retail outlets and you guys don't, I'm assuming?
We really don't have a retail outlet. We have a wholesale nursery, and 93% of what we sell goes to Fred Meyer, so Kroger.
Oh, wow. One customer.
Yeah, we have like one big customer, and then we deal with a few little independent garden centers, and then we open our entire facility for 6 Saturdays a year for all the local people. And it's kind of like, it used to be kind of fun, and now it's getting really busy.
Yeah.
So it's, I don't know, it's different. But yeah,
But
so
really
we're
good to be a member of the
90%.
community. And
Yeah.
people would
Yeah.
appreciate
People-
that. People would
People
love it.
love like for us, Tom talks about his fundraiser thing where we give out like 12-inch hanging basket gift cards or give them out or sell them out. And then you make, if you're a baseball player, you know, raising money for your little league team, you sell your hanging basket.
For a
you gotta come to
$5
the greenhouse
premium,
and buy
right.
a couple. But while you're there, you're like, oh, 2 more would be nice.
Yeah.
Hey, so you're making money either way.
Do people come fast and furious to that because it's a scarcity model where it's like,
They-
hey, these guys are
they-
only open a couple times.
Yep,
We're gonna
they
hit
come
the Wingerdan
Like
greenhouse.
crazy. But then they also, well, like, where do you think all the flowers go? They close next week, right? They totally think like, everything's there and it's just a big old dump pile
Panic.
when you're done, right? They don't, like, so many people are like, where did, and it's like, well, we sell to Fred Meyer. Oh. Well, the one in Bellingham, we're like, no, there's like 140 stores in Washington and
Yeah.
Oregon. And then they're like, oh, like, yeah, it's.
Do you have concerns about having one customer or just does not matter? If the relationship's so good, it shouldn't.
His dad once said something. This was a few months ago at lunch. It said, if you grow quality plants, you'll never have an issue keeping a customer or getting a customer. So, like, you kind of got to take the risk.
Mhm.
I mean, like, we would never do what our dads did. They were 20 and 21, came from Holland with nothing, right? Like, bought a piece of property and started bulldozing. There's no way I would do that now. You would never.
Not if the land was
Well,
30
somebody
30
would.
grand.
It just
Not me.
You wouldn't.
And
So,
we all
but-
know
Because you
why.
haven't grown up.
I disagree with
Well,
that.
it's interesting
to a
you would say
level,
that.
because,
It's interesting
like,
you would say that.
Go ahead, Tom.
There's a friend of ours, Justin Brand, right? Northwood Nursery. He is doing that, right? He started from scratch, but it's his grandparents' land.
Yep.
Right? And he's building up this business, and he quit his job at the refinery, and he's doing really well for himself.
Same
And so
type
it
of
can
product
still
as
be
you guys?
done.
Same type of product?
No,
or something
nursery
totally
stock.
Nursery
stuff.
stock, but he's doing more and more.
Yeah. he does.
I think you can still do it.
Do you guys grow the same kind of stuff?
Mhm.
Yeah, we're direct competitors.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
not really, because he has one customer and you haven't taken that customer.
That's
But
his
we
job.
really are, though,
He
because
takes my customers.
Dirty dog. Not surprised.
Yeah.
But we really do grow
True
a
to
lot
form.
of the same. Like this
Yeah.
morning, his brother Joe calls for certain houseplants that they don't have in inventory right now. And 2 weeks ago, they're bringing us 4-inch primroses because we're
Okay, you
short.
guys
Like,
are literally working
yeah,
together still. That's cool.
And
I
then
like it.
he talked about their like plug and liner business, and we buy plugs.
They're our
from them.
biggest customer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
It's a
it
drawing.
is still all there. So it's like we go on vacation in the summer with the two families, and it's kind of like, well, we all work in the
Mhm.
business. So it's just one big business
Yeah, yeah.
expense.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Okay.
Let's go.
It's
It's
expensive.
funny to see our dads bring it up, like, who's paying for golf? You know, well, you bought that. Like, you know, they argue, like, guys, you can argue
Who's the
about
better
it. What are you
customer to
paying?
the other one? Who's
Big families.
Whose
buying more
accountant is
stuff?
going to bring it up?
Yeah.
Okay,
So
very
you guys-
interesting. Sorry, go ahead.
I want to move on.
No,
Kyle gets
Boring.
really
Oh.
Kyle, yeah, Kyle's just.
Do you want to go on
watch-
to these hockey games, or what are we going on?
No,
to?
we can't talk
What
about
hockey
that.
game? Is that
What
the
are
Four
you talking
Nations
about?
that we're talking about? I was hoping to go to Iran. What's going on? You
I
happy?
was-
You happy that Trump's bombing Iran?
I don't like. It's weird. We were talking about this. I don't have like an opinion on it. Like,
It's a tough one.
yeah, I feel like Trump bombing Iran is just ironic that we happen to be here tonight.
It
right?
is. It's
Okay.
pretty weird.
Because
Especially
if we
of
wanted, because
our text
you made a
message
joke
thread.
about it, but like if you wanted to back up and
Okay,
you wanted
pause,
me to like,
pause.
Yeah.
The joke.
You
Don't
did
say
not-
the
you
joke.
did not
Don't
joke
say
about
the
it, did
joke. So bad. I felt mortified. I showed my wife, and we just ran
the
our
only
clothes.
text I've received from Gary in 12 years.
It's like oil prices go up.
This was, yeah.
But
this will come out a week and a half after.
He's not
at
going to
least.
stop bombing. So
Hopefully it's over by then.
But I think if you back up from the conversation, you know me. I have, from the minute Trump stood up in public, 12 years ago now
Yeah.
or more,
Yeah.
and said, I'm going to run for president, I'm like, he's got a chance. And I think he's going to shake this country like no one has. And we needed a bull in the china shop. But, you know, and it goes on and everybody will be like, oh, you really? I'm like, okay, do I think the guy is a perfect angel and everything's great? No. But like all these opinions, and you know, I deal with this. I have a ton of Canadian friends.
yeah,
And I told Tom on the way here, there's one thing I want to say real politely. If you didn't get the opportunity to vote for or against him, your opinion really doesn't matter. I can't say anything about Canadian politics.
yeah.
Because I can't.
I think you're allowed to have an opinion.
I mean, you can, but I'm just saying, it drives me bonkers when people want to argue with me about it. Like, I voted for him all 3 times. I got 2 out of 3 right. The one was a little corrupt.
No, you got them all right.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's that simple. Now,
I love it.
I thought his State of the Union was phenomenal. But then they'll go, you're biased. But it was. He recognized, the fact that he got that war veteran from Korea up that nobody could talk about and all these things. I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah, for me on the outside,
But I am biased, right?
like I remember watching when Bush invaded Iraq. Like we were camping as a family, and I was like in the little camping room. I was watching Bush give his address. Like as a 9-year-old, I was into this stuff in American politics, and so I've always been following it. And I think Trump did a lot of good, but the war thing confuses me because he specifically campaigned
He ran
on no more wars.
Staying out of other
so
people's countries.
I'm just confused about the fact on that part, like the debt is higher than ever. You got more problems in the U.S. than ever. Like put the money towards ICE and get the 18,000 terrorists that Biden let in, known terrorists that Biden let in, put the money there instead of helping a country way out in Iran. Like I think it's more of a political move because
I kind of
midterms are coming up and he needs to unite the country.
Have you heard Marco Rubio talk about it at all though?
No, not Marco Rubio.
Like I think he's much more clear about why. Right? They're in that country because they have a lot of intel. right?
Yeah.
We don't know.
Yeah,
I'm
I'm aware
1/millionth
that,
of what they know.
Yeah.
So if we don't act, what happens?
But they've been saying that since '95 that they almost had nuclear
Okay.
weapon.
I know that's
And
classic
maybe,
politics,
maybe they're wrong.
Yeah.
But if they're right, then it's a good thing.
If they're right, yeah. If it's
Right?
a great, I mean, he is a bad dude. I just like the Iranians like that they got rid of. Like they are bad dudes. It just
Did
I
you
don't know.
see
It's
what
a lot of money
Did you see
that you guys
like
could-
I decided to share a few on social media over the weekend, but like these Iranians that are like thanking the U.S. and you're like, so then there's somebody like, oh, we shouldn't be there, and the next one's like, well, they're thanking us. And the video I shared today of those, I mean, Kuwait sounds like Kuwait accidentally shot a few fighter jets out of the sky, and you're like, oh boy.
But
And
who do you care more about, the Iranians that are happy now, or the single moms that
Mm.
can't pay for their groceries anymore in the United States? Because
that is what, and
that's
that's where
what
Trump's
pisses
kind
me
of going
off.
back on his word a little bit.
yeah,
In what way? Sorry, how would he be? Explain that to me, Tom.
So fixing what's in our country rather than global conflicts.
How would you fix what's wrong in your country? Explain that to me. What would
Well,
that
going to
look like?
Iran isn't
like the
focused
money
on
you're
that.
spending there. Like that's,
Okay, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
he said.
Yeah, but anybody that's a Republican is not going to be okay with a cut in defense spending, are they? Or would you guys be okay with a cut? in
Huge.
defense?
No,
That's what he ran
absolutely
on.
not.
No, he ran hugely on cut. The Republicans. There's a huge vein
More
of
guns always.
No, okay. Well, I guess I'm asking this is the problem I have with people that vote in general. Everybody, or not everybody, the vast majority of a population, whether they be left leaning or right, would say we want balanced budgets. Even people that are pretty far left, a lot of them are pretty fiscally responsible and would think, hey, we got to have balanced budgets. But when you really start to ask a voter, hey, what are we going to cut? Like, what are we actually going to cut?
Did you like what Doge was doing?
I did.
I mean, there again, I think the idea of the chainsaw technique, I mean, granted, the metaphor is probably accurate. There needs to be some serious cutting. But I mean, like, drain it from the swamp. Like, start with, the amount of lobbying dollars that go for sugar, for like, cane farm.
100%.
You know what I mean? Like,
100%.
the richest people always do the best because they have the most firepower to get what they want. And I guess my thought would be, and I just picked on defense because I assumed you were military. And I mean, in our country, even people that are left leaning would agree we should spend more on defense.
Now,
Well, why would
in
you?
general,
You have
no, I would
America.
say even general.
10 years ago, they kept cutting.
I mean, people are pretty big supporters of the military. Of course, they really are now. As if we're going to catch up to the neighbor to the south. But like, it's this idea of like, there's just people. People are becoming militant in
wall.
that way, right? But I
mean,
guess
I
my
sold
question
firearms
is,
to different countries.
Yeah.
And it definitely changed a lot after Russia invaded Ukraine. Like, all of a sudden, all the countries in Europe started talking about spending money in defense again. Since Trump
started
pushed,
cutting his support for Europe.
That's right. And NATO wasn't spending their 2% of what they owed to NATO. And so the defense spending has gone up a ton, and there has been more support for it.
I think this is an infinitely complex problem.
Yeah. We're not going to figure it out here.
We will.
I wanted to read something, but I'll let you finish.
Okay, but like, I think the tariffs tie in really well to this conversation too.
Okay.
And everybody hates the tariffs, right? Because it creates chaos in pretty much global markets.
Yeah.
But has it not helped that deficit a lot?
I'm not sure.
It's complicated.
It has.
I think it's probably more nuanced than like. I think what happens with tariffs is that for a very prolonged period of time, businesses in other countries will eat some of the losses, and the trade will carry on.
Sure.
But I think a lot of the effect of
Short term.
I think a lot of it, the detriment will come and play out much later. Like, for instance, I have a guy I know, shouldn't call him a friend, that's not the right word, but somebody I know pretty well in Abbotsford who owns a big business who ships aluminum siding. Gets aluminum siding into the U.S. Almost 80-90% of the business. Well, the last time I talked to him, it's like, hey, we're eating a lot of it. We're losing money. Well, at some point, they change. They make changes. They find other customers. They try to sell in other parts of the world. And so, I think a pro-American person would say, well, we're just going to start manufacturing this out. That would be the point of the tariff, right?
Yeah,
and I could see that. And I think those days to some degree, just like Canada, I feel like Canada has fallen so far behind. I feel like Are we really going to become a I mean, maybe like that would be cool,
yeah.
but we have so much bureaucrocy, so much red tape.
terrible up
There's
here.
so many other countries that people will work for, $5 an hour instead of 50. Like you just everybody here is self-righteous
for the
until
wrong
they got to
thing.
pay, they got to pay the piper. And they're like, I'm not paying that.
I like the attitude of actually fighting to do something though, even if it's not perfect.
Okay, at least we're doing
because
something.
we're getting there, right?
I agree with
it's
that.
like sometimes with government, you're just like, okay, we can do this, but no, we can't do that.
Okay.
We can do
He
that,
would have been
we
not.
can't do that.
He's so much better than Kamala ever would have been.
Okay.
Like that's for sure.
I know, and that's where I always feel like when the people that come out swinging against him, like you really think if you just would have reversed the last election, I think it would have been unreal.
Oh,
It would
yeah.
have been nasty, right?
Yeah,
now.
it would have been. It would not have been good. But you don't think with this Epstein thing, another thing that he ran on like getting all these names out and him losing support heading into the midterms this November, that like Iran is like
Kyle's
this is
a click-
it unites the
clickbait guy,
country.
right?
It unites
Clickbait
the
guy.
country, doesn't it?
No.
Legitimately though.
No.
Say
So,
Epstein?
Like MSNBC, they're pro-war now. Everyone's coming together. You can't go after ICE when you're bombing Iran. You can't be upset about ICE when you're bombing Iran. Everyone's like, we're America. We're all together.
So I'm gonna read a piece here from an article today. Dr. Ed Less, who you've had on your show, very very well spoken man, wrote an article today, a brief synopsis of the situation in Iran.
Okay.
He talks, basically starts off by saying how there's supposed to be U.S. congressional approval to do what Trump did, and then talks about how all the times with Truman and even Obama going in to take out Gaddafi in Libya back in 2011, how it's never happened. They just always kind of, presidents do what presidents do. And then he says, all of that is important context given the widespread outrage being leveled at Donald Trump for waging war with Iran without the blessing of Congress. Trump was never likely to seek the congressional stamp of approval. He's well aware of the door cracked open by his predecessors, and he drove an entire war machine through it. The key factor, of course, that his detractors spitting with rage is that Trump is Trump, a man whose notion of diplomacy seems rooted in perpetual truculence, which that word I've never seen before, a man who drives his critics batshit crazy with bombast and bluster. It is foolish to predict with any confidence, of course, that the current fight with Iran will end well. Military forays in the Middle East have a depressing history of descending into endless bloody quagmires. And so, anyways, the article's great. You can post in the show notes the link to his Substack. But it's fascinating how, the only thought I had, I mean, first of all, the guy who he took out's a total animal and probably totally deserved to be taken out. And one factor, and we learned this pretty well at our school we went to, I think, is that throughout the years, like people have been screaming in the last week on the weekend, especially on Twitter, hey, where's the UN? How come we're not doing we're not following protocol? The United Nations back all the way to, what was it, the League of Nations in the early 1900s never has done a thing. They've never taken a stand for the right thing. They always come in after some country, grabs the mantle and does the right thing. So in your sense of kind of like, hey, take action, like I would really struggle with how this was done. And I would have similar say, hey, how is this going to play out? What is the end game here? Yeah. How is this going to play out? But
this compared to Venezuela, I think Venezuela was like
pristine compared to this.
But this even Venezuela, explain to me Venezuela, going into Venezuela.
I mean, if you're
that guy was a disgusting, just
a horrible person.
We had two gals at the greenhouse that brought it up, used like Jose the translator to tell my dad how pumped they were.
Yeah.
And you're like, what?
So I get all that, guys, but let's just help me understand this in a world that we live in with however many countries, or 170 countries, or I don't know, maybe more. How do we decide which country gets to go in and assassinate people, and who kind of decides, like, in what sense is, like, how do we come to kind of like globally as the G7? I mean, there again, how do we decide as
I know what you're saying.
I don't think you do.
I don't think you do. I think Trump's not thinking about that. He's thinking about America first. He thinks America's in debt. He wants to get oil from Venezuela. He knows he can control it down there.
100%.
Like, he's
okay,
not,
you guys would agree with all that.
Yeah.
Was it about the oil in Venezuela?
The oil was in play.
Huge.
But I also
Just
think
like you,
he
you
thought
were
it was a good move.
Yeah.
No, I was just thinking about my own pocketbook. I wasn't even thinking about my
I get
country.
what you're saying, because like I'm glad I don't have to make these decisions, right?
Yeah.
Like that's why I am not in office or anywhere brilliant, right? But he does. I always see these random posts, and I love it because you can have Kyle post something on Twitter, and Tom can, and you can be like, oh, I really like what this person said. But like when these people bring up, hey, while you watch the news talk about this is what else happened. And you look it up and they're not lying about it. And they always refer to it as like, Trump makes chess moves, right? And I think it's and then it's like, well, are they right or the wrong? But I don't know. Sometimes I don't even know, like, what, we're in Venezuela? I gotta go catch up, right? That kind of thing.
I like that he's putting America first. I wish, I posted this recently after something happened, and I said, I wish Carney would put Canada first.
Well,
and not everywhere else, right? And so I do appreciate
Fight
that
for
point.
Canada.
Yeah, fight for your own. Like, you have to take care of your own crap first.
It's pretty hard to fight when you're a country with as large of a landmass as us and such a small population.
With a lot of oil we could pump.
Yeah, we do.
But I was trying to look into
you
it
got
more
some tools.
today, and I didn't get very far. But I think that, Washington State's politics. We can talk about the country of America, but
it's all over the
mess.
place. Yeah,
we're screwed.
You do have a horrible state.
Oh yeah. Like you guys might be better off right now. I don't.
You can carry guns around, so
Barely. And you guys are
carry.
very, help me understand. In the U.S., it's very state by state, right?
Yeah,
like
it
things, state politics play a huge part.
We're pumped Trump's
as much
in,
as you
but
talk
not
about
one part of him being in is helping us right
it's
now.
United Countries, basically what it is.
Yeah.
So back to the biggest question, because I guess there was two parts of that I struggle with. One is his character. Because even in you just shrug your shoulders.
Yeah, but he does have the weirdest character, right?
No, but I mean, even the other night in the speech, I listened to a few minutes of it. Was that the speech you're talking about?
State of the Union.
Yeah, where the U.S. hockey players came in.
Yeah.
2-hour monologue about how great the man is, spoken by himself.
Yeah.
It's nauseating, man. It's
Okay,
not.
But I would much rather have Trump than Barack Obama, who can speak really nicely and is probably just as bigger of a liar, but he just says it calmly and with an eloquent voice. So everyone's like, ooh, it's amazing. Trump's just a shit talker from New York who ran businesses his whole life, didn't have to be in politics, and now he's in politics. So try to change a 50-year-old.
I mean, I appreciate the part, and I always have, about finally somebody who just doesn't care what anyone thinks. Because most politicians are literally lying all the time because they're just living for the next vote in.
Yeah. I mean,
and
Trump
he has done everything basically in his power to not get elected again, and he did get elected again, which is kind of ironic.
Unfortunately, we're never going to get the guy we want in office.
And why is that? Because it's such a sewer in politics?
No, because humans.
Yeah, humans. That too.
Sinful humans.
You get empowered.
No, but I'm saying there's men of great integrity in the U.S.
Sure.
There's men of great integrity.
Was Winston Churchill a man of great integrity?
No, I wouldn't put him in that camp.
He's in the history books as one of.
If you get to the top, I don't know how you can be a man of great integrity.
Once you're at the top, you're under a microscope, and you are a sinful
going
human.
to chain smoke cigars.
It's too
and drink
bad.
A lot of whiskey.
You
can do it, man. You can do it.
But if I was a
was living the dream.
I'll come back on the podcast.
Let's go. I'm in.
Have you ever thought of running for local office or anything in Washington
I am
State?
the vice president of the Whatcom County Farm Bureau board.
Let's go.
It's a slippery
Sounds
slope.
like a big board. Farms are leaving Whatcom County left, right, and center. To my knowledge, I think you're chasing them away.
Exactly. Maybe
Do a better job.
We got that. We went
Onto Trump and ICE, though. I like what he's doing there because
loves ICE.
This is specifically what he campaigned on. He said in his campaign, we're going to get these 5 million or 10 million illegals that Biden allowed out because they're here illegally. They're breaking the law. And so he's fulfilling his promise. I think that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Are all the right people being taken out?
Probably not perfectly. How do you get 10 million people out perfectly? I can't even get my own kids out of the house.
You guys talked about this the other day. And in a way, if you really simplify it, they're here illegally.
They broke the law.
So as a country, you have every right to move them out.
It is fascinating grabbing clips there again. If you spend enough time on social media, and I follow enough people where I don't only follow right-wing wingnuts like yourself, Dustin. Yeah. I follow a few people that are on the other side of the political aisle. And, I mean, there's lots of clips of people like Clinton and Obama talking about getting illegal people out of the country. I think everybody, law-abiding American citizens would agree with that. I think the question would be, hey, is it being done in how is it being done, right?
So, I'm going to tell this story.
But if the guy's running away, get him.
Okay.
If he's not coming out of his house, break the horse down. He's breaking the law.
So,
right?
Because he'll never hear of it, and it doesn't matter because he's been deported. But I had a kid working for me for 12 years. His name was Omar. And this past spring,
kaboom.
No, this last spring,
cut that out too.
He got fired over some issues.
Okay.
And Find out 3 months later, I get a phone call from him.
Yeah.
He got picked up by ICE.
Okay.
Well, in a real short form, this kid got pulled over for a DUI years ago, and he kind of resisted arrest. So guess what? He put himself on the radar. Now, so he gets deported, right? Because he has a criminal past. He had a little domestic dispute with his early friend, whatever. He gets deported. A gal from the office at the greenhouse goes to help his sister pack up his things. And in the drawer in his house, filled out and not sent, was his dreamer paperwork. Obama gave this guy the opportunity to be here. And you miss the window. And then you have them, I'm so upset I got to. No, he had the opportunity to do it right. Now, do I feel bad for some of them that have been here 30 years and have done no wrong? Yes.
But you're still breaking the law.
You're still breaking the law.
Yeah.
Just because you're doing 37 and a 35, you're still breaking the law.
That's right.
But
would you help him come back?
yeah, if there was an easy way, but there's really not anymore.
What I find is interesting that he
Nobody's
works-
coming back in our country. They have really tightened up on who's coming in.
But-
Even just people that
But
were
now
here
we have
working
this,
for
like,
years.
H2A program, and you guys have it too. The worker program, the 9-10 month come work, go back is great. That's their way back in. And
What
a
I think
lot
is
of
interesting,
them-
though, you hired an illegal for 12 years.
Yeah, well, guess what? Welcome to Washington State. By law, we're not allowed to question them. But also by law, we're not allowed to hire them. So how would you figure that out?
I know what
Not allowed to
company's
question
getting.
him, but not allowed to hire him.
Yep.
That sounds
I
like
know what
COVID.
company's getting
Yeah, it
drop kicked
sounds
by
like-
ICE next week.
Sounds like
COVID.
Yeah. It sounds like something they said.
Should we
in
talk
COVID.
about vaccines?
Yes, let's do
Yeah.
it. I seen a guy vaccinate himself underneath the overpass the other day, and I'm like, how can he do that?
Wow.
Yeah.
I can assure you that he was bent over in the
Probably
fetal
so
position
healthy.
after his vaccination.
You don't think it was vaccinations?
I'm just glad you brought candy, actually.
Guys,
so
nobody wants to watch four dudes eat candy on a podcast.
No, this is good.
No.
We're supposed to be on this
Okay,
diet.
so
and-
from
okay.
the American perspective, grill us on Canada. Has it changed in the last 10, 15 years on how...
No, you want to? I do not have the slightest about your politics.
Yeah, you guys
And
don't care.
Nobody in America
No,
cares
you
about
don't.
Canada. You guys
had
are
some weird
careless
dude Shoot up
people.
at school the other day. I knew about that, right? And I told Tom, I'm like, why would I get to post that on social media? Every time it happens in the U.S., I have a comment about it. But you guys have really strict gun laws.
Exactly.
It proves itself, but it's not a good thing. It's just
That's
I
not the-
honestly
that's not
do
the-
not pay attention. I could
Well-
not tell you I don't even know who your local leaders are.
I remember it's Rick
Do
Mercer.
you know who the provincial leader is?
Nah, who Carney's in or something. I really don't know.
You remember Rick Mercer?
Pierre's a good dude. Him and Trump were going to be buddies. Then we were going to be a superpower. But you guys decided to just shut that down.
Invade us first, yeah, 51st state.
It is fascinating. It's fascinating the amount of people in my sphere of people that you're thinking, hey, you seem like a relatively intelligent person, and they voted for the Liberals based on the fact that Mark Carney, people really respect him. He's the Bank of England, England governor.
Okay.
He's the Bank
And the
of
media
Canada
sells
governor.
him up.
But if you
Yeah,
look
and the
at
media's
him
got
as
his
a
back.
person, is he an intelligent individual?
I think he
he's
is.
fairly,
I think
a lot
he
more
is.
intelligent Trudeau.
Oh,
was.
100 times.
He knows how to
we
run
would
a
all
meeting.
agree with that.
He knows how to run a meeting. He has experience.
Yeah, I think it was definitely a step up.
But I don't think he's any better. For
like
Canada.
Biden to
Ironically,
Same.
and
Yeah.
so this goes back to the root of what I wanted to ask you guys, because I think that, socially, people tend to veer into a camp where all of a sudden you don't appear to care for people, but money doesn't have feelings. And at the end of the day, I think that the root of our issues in our Western culture now are the fact that we run huge deficits, and we think that it does not matter.
So a really smart guy just ran a $90 billion more deficit.
Well, that's where I was
Mark
going with
Carney.
it. And I guess even that's the question
Okay.
I've always asked about Trump. I follow Peter
How do you
Schiff.
fix it?
I follow Peter Schiff. I don't know if you guys follow him,
Yeah,
an
no,
American economist. I mean, he's whatever.
But it sounds
very
like over the
small
weekend
doses.
in Washington State, they had it again where 4 or 5 Republicans speak and go, "What do you mean for the state of Washington? You're adding more to the budget and tax more and all this stuff." And they're like, "Where are the cuts?" You're right. Everybody's spending like crazy.
But nobody wants a cut. Nobody's suggesting a good cut.
That makes
No,
sense.
It's been a while.
Math on that up.
Elon.
No,
Yeah.
Elon did some.
He did some cutting.
Some cutting.
But not
Not enough.
trillions. I think it was 6 weeks ago. They did defense changed their budget from 1 trillion to 1.5 trillion. I'm assuming anticipating Iran coming up.
Right.
Somebody knew.
So yeah, they know.
So
But
crank
that's
this
like
up a notch.
$500 billion. Wow, that's
Yeah.
That's
I wonder
money.
how that does work. You wonder if they're actually spending that much more because they're flying all the stuff all the time anyways, and there's just a lot of money spent. Or I don't know. Those would be
Do
questions
you
that
ever-
nobody has the answer
Right.
Do
to.
you
Yeah.
ever? I feel like you've referenced Dave Ramsey once in a while. But
Oh,
do you ever
yeah.
hear him
Oh,
talk
yeah.
about Trump before he admitted on his show that he was going to vote for him?
Yeah.
And he broke it down really simply, and I really liked that. That was like good to hear. Like, so many people like, I hate him, I love him, right? But he just said, no, I want you to take some simple things. Like, there's so many things you can look at, right? And he just real simply went through it and said, if you just agreed with all that, then I think you need to be like myself and I'm going to vote for him.
Yeah.
And his daughter's like, you just said it live that you're, but like, and
Well, if you look at
but what does he care?
if you have two people to vote for,
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to be pretty
Yeah.
easy. Yeah, on that side.
I still go back to, like, as a group of Christian men, if you look through the Bible and you had a chance to vote for any of the leaders in the Bible,
Oh yeah, they're pretty sad.
it's pretty rough, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's fair.
And then, like, now, like, you go through all the I don't know all the prime ministers of Canada in history, but all the presidents in history, like, which one really stands up as a pillar compared to the rest?
In Canada, I will say this, I don't know, maybe you wouldn't agree, but I feel like in my childhood, even left-leaning prime ministers, as much as socially there were certain things they were doing that I would really disagree with, overall, they were pretty decent character individuals.
Okay.
Especially for someone that, like, interestingly enough in Canada, and we learned this in social studies, but in Canada, the prime minister actually probably has more control of the country
Yeah, way more
than
internally.
Than a president does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like even now, there's the screaming about the Congress, and there is certain stops and balances where, like, as long as a prime minister in our country controls the party so much that as long as he's got control of his party in his
He's
caucus meetings,
No problem.
and he is a majority government, they can do whatever they want, and they do. I mean, they pass laws. That's why we're in the trouble we're in, because Trudeau had majorities for so long, and such horrible policy changes that are affecting us now. And it's hard to tell people they're losing their jobs, and that's what needs to happen.
Mm-hmm.
And it's fascinating
gonna
for
happen.
me because I use government agencies, they'll remain unnamed, on a regular basis. And over the last, I've been doing it since 2008, and the employee count in those government agencies has just gone on a 45-degree angle trajectory up, and the service time
They're
and
busy.
everything else is just on the opposite way. Just these people
They're really busy.
they are puppy makers. I'm telling you, it is a disaster.
It's not gonna work.
I was like too little to even know, but you have older, guys my dad's age or whatever that talk about, or you've heard from, like, my dad even used to joke about it, like Bill Clinton, right? What we know of Bill Clinton, he was just an awful person, right?
Yeah.
And now it's getting worse and worse. But when he was president, they were like, he was a
Not bad.
Democrat.
Exactly.
He was okay for the economy, and he did.
He was good for the economy.
Yeah,
Guys, he was
then,
good
but
for
then
the
the
economy.
minute
He
everybody
killed
had to go hard no is all the
Microsoft
Monica
built
Lewinsky
that
comes
up.
up, and then all of a sudden everybody has to hate him, right? But like, who would ever thought my dad would be like, yeah, that Democrat wasn't bad. What did you say? Like, you're
Hey,
like,
sorry. When you were a kid, were they saying that already?
no.
kidding
I don't
me?
remember.
Not
those
now
things.
either, though.
Yeah.
Either like the guy's a total creep.
Yeah, no. Now, yes, but what they meant is when
As
you
a
had
president,
to vote against him,
as a
it
president.
was like
Mm.
it was like, hey, at least you had like he was not horrible. Now you felt like you had Kamala. Like, let's not
Yeah,
even
she
get
was crazy.
started, right?
So Carney would be like Gavin Newsom, in my opinion,
Yeah,
policy wise.
I see that.
Which is still
Slick,
really
right?
bad.
No.
I wouldn't put him in that bad. of a
Not that
camp.
bad?
Oh, I hope not. That's tragic. I hope not. You might be right, but hard to compare.
I know.
Hard to
and
compare.
New scum.
So I was referencing Rick Mercer before. He used to be a television, CBC radio guy, and he went down to the States one time and interviewed a whole bunch of Americans about America, and like asked them to congratulate them on like, thank you that you. Congrats that you don't live in igloos anymore, or like just all things about like they
About
knew nothing
Canada,
about
about
Canadians.
us.
yeah, no, but that's
Nothing.
still a
Yeah.
joke, right?
But I think they got Bush even before he became president to say something crazy. But yeah, generally Americans don't know anything about Canadians. It's usually the other
We
way
do.
around.
Yeah, we know a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit, tiny bit.
You reference
Compared to your-
social studies 11. Oh,
Yeah.
I snuck through that class.
Yeah, but that was a great class.
no,
man.
I don't. Do you think?
You
I
would
said
if you
that.
went and did it now, you'd love it.
Yeah, no,
Probably.
You finally care.
You know, it's
It's funny to realize how much you missed out on.
The black hand, didn't he start
Take
World War
me
I?
back.
Week 1.
Yeah.
Did you enjoy school?
So I enjoyed some of school.
Okay.
In 11th grade or grade 11, depending on what country you're from.
That was deep.
You don't know that?
No.
If you're Canadian, you were in grade 11. If
I've
you're
always been
American,
up on the
you're in
roof
11th grade.
and never knew what was going on.
Through the crack.
Yeah, I go
You were-
wakeboarding
so
in the
you were
creek.
a junior in
Yeah,
high
that's
school.
right. Yeah, so
And an athlete.
I got in a motorcycle accident, right? And
When
guys
you were
know
in
this.
school?
No, I was on the road.
No,
But,
in
yes,
grade 11.
In grade 11.
Who drives motorcycles in school?
He meant it as were you like...
I
in
know
grade-
that.
Hey, we got you in the group
He
text.
corrects me. Yeah.
Yeah, you did. I thought... I
He
really
was still
thought-
convinced. We're driving here. He's like,
He
do
doesn't
you,
know.
do you think Kyle knows that you're missing a leg? Like, yeah.
That's why I love my comment. Did you lose it in the war? Because I knew people gave you that all the time.
Anyway,
Okay, so-
you asked if I enjoyed school. Actually, in my last year, I took some like AP classes, which at Timothy was like, chemistry, biology. It wasn't too fancy, but
Yeah.
I did enjoy those.
Mr. Bruce.
But at that point, I was like, I could barely walk. So what else?
So you lost your leg when you were very young,
No.
when you were 16.
When I was 17, I got in a motorcycle accident
Yeah.
in Greendale,
Yeah,
but I
remember
didn't
that.
lose my leg. So what?
Just
Pause.
were-
Listen.
yeah, listen to the story.
This is the art of listening.
It took me to the great hospital of Chilliwack General.
Yeah, no, we want to talk healthcare? Here we
Yeah.
go.
Talk healthcare. And they gave me some really strong Tylenols there. And
He's not lying to you. Gary thinks you're telling jokes, but
anyways, so they were, by the time I got to Harborview, I had like a lot of damage like in my nerves, and they hadn't really done much yet. So they ended up saving most of it, but then a lot of like my nerve damage had to grow back, and a lot of the
Can you
like,
describe
bone
the
fragments
accident?
had-
What happened and like what part of your leg got damaged?
So I was on my friend's bike, riding around on roads I had no
Crotch
business
rocket?
being on. Crotch rocket. Ran a stop sign, T-boned, SUV of some kind, and
Went
flipped over.
flying.
Yep. Lady
Awful.
came out from her house, and she was basically took my phone out of my pocket and calling people for me. And I don't remember a lot from that scene, but the one thing I do remember is the RCMP that came to the site. He talked to me and he said, "Well, it looks like you kind of got what you deserved, so I'm not going to give you a ticket."
Savage.
17-year-old
one
leg
thing.
there.
Savage.
Yeah,
you were
yeah.
awake?
I probably did, but so I don't have any memory before like waking, like talking to the lady on her lawn.
Okay.
I still don't remember anything
Okay.
before that. I remember like snippets after that. So I remember like talking to her, her calling somebody, and then I remember the cop, and then I remember Uncle Teo in the hospital. Other than that, like the flight, nothing.
I'm pretty mixed up. I remember you saying they gave you horse tranquilizers at the Chilliwack Hospital. And then what happened after that?
So after
You still
that,
had your leg on at
so
this
I
point?
didn't have proper ID on me for them to get me out of the country, right? Even though I don't know what I was gonna do once I got out of the country, but by the time they got like my ID to me, then it was like 6 hours later.
Yeah.
So they put me on a plane. I think my dad came with me, and we flew down to Harborview in Seattle.
Were you
Oh,
awake
wow.
this whole time, or were they
Okay.
put you out?
In and out.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. So then they flew down, I think, to Boeing Field. And then off of Boeing Field, they airlifted me to Harborview. Harborview rolled me straight into surgery. And then, yeah, from there, I think you came right after that.
I came like 2 days afterward,
yeah.
and then like a week later, he says to his dad, "Why haven't I seen Dustin
Yeah.
yet?" And they're like, "Yeah, he's been here
What a
4 times."
jerk.
He was like, "Dustin hasn't given video."
Sorry, did they take
Well-
the leg off with the surgery?
No.
No. So I had like 23 surgeries that time, like in my first month and a half there. So then they pieced everything back together. I had like external bracing. And
Awful.
it was shattered from my left knee down. My right kneecap was shattered. My right femur was broken. And then my wrist was broken.
So you're in the hospital, obviously, the whole time. You're never leaving the hospital
Correct.
for that first
Yeah.
month and a half.
Month and a half later, went home, still on bed rest.
Yeah.
Got really constipated. It's the worst.
Sounds shitty.
Oh, I tell you a story about that on my honeymoon, but we'll go there after.
I don't know if I want to hear that story.
You gotta finish your story about losing the leg.
Anyway, so
Sorry, guys.
everything-
This is why I'm not allowed to talk.
Everything's saved, right? I have all my pieces, but like I'm like hardly walking. I'm on crutches.
And
So
you're
I
not
started
shitting.
the 12th grade,
Yeah.
grade 12 for the Canadians. And I had like this weird little crutch thing I was using, and they gave me like study class, which was really dumb. But you know, I needed to make up some work from grade 11.
Yeah.
So for some reason, 2 of my friends at the time got to do study with me. And so we screwed around
Just a
way too much.
disaster.
Yeah, that was a bad move.
Zero
Yeah.
learning happened.
Bad move.
That sounds like Nick.
It was.
Hasn't
Nick and
affected him.
Stefan.
Hasn't affected him.
Really? Wow! I'm so impressed.
They're upstanding
They're
citizens
fine.
now.
They're fine.
Yeah.
Didn't affect them like it affected you. You lost a leg and they've gone on to success.
Yeah, I know those jerks. Anyway, so
doing studies.
then I started getting staph infections,
Oh,
and that's
dear.
what ended up taking my leg.
8 months later.
No, like years. Yeah. So
You ended up
You lost
wakeboarding
your leg
again
at 17.
before you lost
and
your leg,
were you
right?
21 or 22?
I was 20 on my 23rd birthday. I had my amputation. So
You go to IHOP for breakfast?
So how did
he
that?
did.
Were you dating already then, or were you still a single guy at that time?
I was dating when I got in my accident. She was at a dance that night. So
See, you shouldn't go to dances.
when this lady took my phone and called, she was one of the phone calls. I probably shouldn't have told her to call my girlfriend.
No,
Not at 17.
no. Kids don't know how to.
But
process
like,
Bringing back so many
you are
memories.
not equipped to deal with that sort of trauma. at
But
that
for
age.
yourself, how did you deal with it? How was the
Oh,
journey?
not great.
No,
No,
Very
I
broken?
mean, like, I feel like you're
looking
doing
back, I don't
great.
think you did
Yeah, I'm
anything
doing
crazy.
fine, right? But there was some screaming, and when you're alone, like,
Well, I even remember
it
you.
was definitely not.
You already
good.
had the.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, we
morphine
grew
button,
up. Sorry.
and he had the morphine button, and like his dad would tell, like this was like when he first,
I was dilaudid.
and like he'd sit there and he goes, "Oh, he's in pain now. He's clicking.
Right.
Like wait until it clears another shot of morphine into his system."
But I can imagine the years afterwards, that was probably the harder times because you're like actually dealing with like
exactly.
constant pain.
Right.
Yeah.
You're recovering. It's like you can feel yourself kind of getting somewhere, and then it's pretty good. You're in school.
So how often did it get infected?
I had 6 staph infections.
So were
So
all obviously pretty serious.
Oh, the one.
the first one, actually, I went to the hospital. They did surgery, cleaned it out, sewed it back up, and then it was like okay. And then the second one came like, I don't know, 6 months later or something.
Oh wow.
And I think it was the third one. I just had them do it like in the clinic instead of going under. And that's like the most painful thing.
Worst experience ever.
Oh, like he's like, you're going to feel a bee sting. It was a little more, but then.
That was an alligator. So,
Yeah.
so when you're getting this infection, is it your leg still fully closed up then, but you're literally inside your leg? It's
More
getting
or less.
infected somehow?
More or less.
But
So,
coming out of your
it
skin
was
because
the
it's so
front.
bad?
It was on my shin. So I had a walking boot for a while, and it really thinned out like just a little like
It was
4-inch
gnarly
piece of my skin.
seeing it. He just.
What is a
grew
staph infection?
That's what I have at my
Staphylococcus, something,
yeah.
something. Yeah.
That's what they have at the greenhouse with all their employees, right?
They are an infection.
Illegals.
Yeah.
So I want to interrupt him because he calls me. It's his birthday. He's 23, January 3. He calls me, and I knew his leg had been removed. And like my grandparents had been like, anybody heard from him about it? He calls me. I'm like, hey, Tom. He goes, guess what? Lost more weight than you have. First thing out of his mouth. I'm like, wow. Like, this is how this conversation's going.
You guys have always been good at humor.
How much
though.
weight did
Wingerdan's
you?
are
How
good
much
at
weight
humor.
did you lose when you lost
I don't
from
know.
your knee down?
I kind of wanted to keep it, but I think
So-
it's like,
Against the law, maybe.
yeah.
So we were also in
That's
our
like my
like,
brother who's
incinerator.
blind, right? My brother
Yeah.
was blind, Derek, and I used to take his like eyeballs once he outgrew them because they were glass because he's born without eyeballs. And I would take the eyeballs to school and put them on girl sandwiches. It'd be like into a sandwich, and all of a sudden, what's this glass thing? Oh,
Amazing.
That's so gross.
anyway, he also lost them water skiing a few times.
I remember those stories.
Yeah,
Because
Expensive.
Your mom taught us.
Well, yeah.
That's pretty
Seven?
awesome.
So-
He water skied.
yeah, and snow skied, very gifted.
So
My
right-
kids today were asking how he played piano. He's like, "How did Uncle Derek play piano without eyes?"
Very carefully.
Very giftedly.
No,
It's
really.
amazing, man.
I can't
many
play with
pieces.
eyes.
Yeah.
So like,
Yeah.
you-
Played his way through university. It's pretty cool.
It's a funny story. When he was in the hospital, my dad went to go see him because he would have been the only NRC pastor or whatever, and he just
Right.
got a new car, and he had butt warmers in it, and he didn't know he had those. It was in the summertime, so I turned him all the way up to 6,
Oh, that's
and he
savage.
went there and back.
Savage.
You are
Just
horrible.
sweating
All right.
profusely.
Yeah. So I remember coming home from school or something, and he was in bed. And I was like, "Why are you in bed?" He goes, "Like I'm sick. I went to go see Tom, and I'm just totally sweating." But I had just turned his orders out, so he drove to Seattle back 3 hours and back. Well, he was pretty mean too. So
He was.
When you
Not
and then
really. Not really.
another thing I
Here's the
remember.
was-
Person.
This is a funny one. We all came to visit you.
Yeah.
We bought him a brand new wakeboard. They were in there. I was not much of a wakeboard, but Tom and my brothers and a group of them were phenomenal, right? So we bring Tom a wakeboard, brand new one, and we had a deal. Nobody rode until Tom could ride.
I remember this.
Yeah, and this is January 3. When do you think we all had to go wakeboarding with Mr. Amputee?
April.
No, it was like March 10.
March
Oh wow.
He's like, I want to go,
2.5
guys.
months.
Was that a big motivator for you that they did that
Oh,
challenge?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Okay,
That
cool.
was like
Yeah.
the
Oh, so are you able to wakeboard
Oh,
with
yeah.
one leg? Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like with one leg was way better than 2 legs before amputation, right? Obviously,
Wow.
it would have been nicer to have 2 fully
Good legs.
functioning legs.
Yeah.
But it was that bad those years from 17 to 23.
Super painful, and like my foot, they fused my ankle, and so they called it like a living prosthetic because it acted just like a limp leg.
So a
It
fake
didn't
prosthetic
function.
you're saying is better than what you had.
Well, yeah, it just
Wow.
hurt less.
Wow.
Was all the pain and everything you went through part of your faith journey? Were those intertwined at all, or was it separate?
I think I was kind of a little bit angry through the whole thing.
That's
right?
what I was going to
mean,
ask you. How
yeah.
was it when you're like a kid at that age? Like I did all the dumb things you
Yeah.
did and never had the accident.
I went through
Seriously
waves.
hurt.
I think I went through waves.
Okay.
Like there was good times and bad.
Did you have a relationship with God or not at that time? Like at 17,
Not-
18?
not
No,
really.
you're not
No.
praying. You're not.
No.
Okay.
I mean, I was angry.
Yeah,
at times.
Fascinating.
I think that was
Fascinating.
definitely a thing.
And you talked? Could you talk about it with people even then already, or did you hold it? inside?
No, I didn't. I did have to go to a therapist at one point.
What's funny about that?
Because I don't know any of this. No, no, but like,
No.
you said something about our humor, and like we are guilty of that. Like we have this like phenomenal banter. Like you put us brothers and cousins and all of us
I've been
together.
there.
Oh man! But it's like, do we ever actually like very
Really
randomly
get
do we
into it.
have a pretty good conversation?
It's a humor diversion, we call it in Freedom Session,
Yeah.
where you avoid ever talking about what really
Yeah.
matters.
But he was
It's okay.
But
We can do it here on the podcast.
We should let Tom answer.
Okay.
So the reason they ended up sending me to a therapist was because I did an upper decker on a trip to Silver Star.
What does that mean?
You don't know what an upper decker is?
No.
Yes, you do.
No, I do not.
No, but I grew up under a rock, right?
Yeah,
On the
you
road
take a
stuff.
crap in the top of the toilet.
Oh.
Okay.
Can you?
I just didn't know what it was called.
Why didn't you say so?
I just thought
Isn't that where you always
what
go?
call that. I just thought that's what you do when the
That's
toilet's
just-
plugged and you don't know what to do.
That's just being a real dink.
Yeah, it's being a real dink.
You're being
Yeah.
serious.
I'm serious. That's
Who
so.
sent you?
Well, so
Don't say anymore.
Yeah.
Don't
No,
say anymore.
don't say names.
Say as much as
it
you can.
just
say.
escalated from there.
Okay.
I ended up sending flowers to the lady that had to clean it up, and they're
Made
like,
amends.
"You need to go to
Made
therapy."
If that's the worst,
maybe I did, but the therapist was no good.
There's a lot
Or
of
I did not. Like
engaged.
I feel like I don't know if you guys have been to therapists before,
Yeah,
but I do feel like you need the right therapist,
you do.
Yeah, you need to be ready
and you need to be ready.
at both.
But you definitely need the right therapist.
Yes, that's
and
right.
people don't realize, I think especially people that are helping young people go to see a counselor, is they don't realize that they should leave it open enough where the person could say, hey, this isn't the right one, but we can try
Okay.
another one.
Yeah.
So people will go to the first one, a lot of young people, and be like, okay, that's not for me. And they might just spike it where they get somebody that's really not that great, that they just don't click with. I mean, you know how it is. We just don't click
I
with
do
people,
think
right?
like you with a young person, you might need to make them go back a couple times.
Yeah.
Right? Because it's kind of hard to just
Also, 17, 18, 19 is a very weird age because when you're really young, like I actually talked to somebody today whose child's going to a therapist,
Okay.
and they are like, their therapy looks like, hey, the guy is taking the kid on a hike, or they're going to, they're going to do, they're going to the batting cage together. And like, if you have children, I think you have kids, right?
Yep.
like especially my kids at the age they're at now, they talk the most when you're just doing something, or
That's me
or
too.
when definitely not when you say, hey, we need to sit down and
Yeah,
talk.
sit down
They
and talk.
sure shit ain't
Yeah.
saying anything then.
They're shutting up.
They're shutting up. So
Yeah.
it's like, hey, you need to create an environment where a kid feels comfortable
Yeah,
and safe.
that's
So-
funny you say that because I'm teaching a catechism class right now to 7th graders, and boy, is it hard to get some words out of their mouth.
Yeah, it is.
It's like,
You're like, can you please engage?
okay, we're just gonna read the book.
So are you trying to dialogue in a relevant matter to their age thing, and they want none
Yeah,
of it, or
and I'm
what?
terrible at it, so it's like there's part of that too.
You got a lot of. I mean, you could explain to him about an upper decker, and I think that'll bring out some engagement.
I just think
Talk
that
about
in
the
in
man's
about a
depravity.
15
I got a
minute-
story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Boy,
can
dude.
always share well on
Boy,
man's
can I relate.
sinfulness. I have a lot of stories. Yeah.
I forgot about the upper decker. When you said it, I was like, "Oh, that's right."
So what's the name of you guys' church do you go to now? You guys go to the same church or different ones?
We go
No.
different churches.
Similar? One's Baptist, right?
No, they're actually like sister churches. Is that how they refer to
Okay.
that?
Yeah.
Is that
So
like
I go to Linden United Reformed Church.
oh, you're not Reformed, okay.
And I go to Covenant Grace Reform.
Is one of those in the Northwood?
No, that's American Reform.
Okay, I drove by that one the other
Okay.
day.
So Kevin DeYoung would be in your denomination?
Kevin DeYoung.
Yeah.
I don't know him.
He's United Reformed. He's a great pastor.
Okay.
Oh, okay. That could be.
Back up. Where did you say you go?
Linden United Reformed.
Okay.
And I go to Covenant Grace Reformed, and we technically like pastor share. So like, I don't know.
Okay. Interesting.
Mine is
That'd be like the Free Reformed and the HRC here. To
Yeah.
some degree.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
They
So-
would do the same thing.
The like third Sunday that I attended Covenant Grace. Some visiting pastor comes on at night and says, "Oh, this morning I preached at the Heritage Reformed in Chilliwack," and I was like, "Oh, that's ironic, right? Like, more Dutch bingo."
Yeah.
But
Okay. Are these churches all filled with Dutch people?
no, mine's filled with old people. I
No,
go to a
mine's-
really
mine's-
small church. There's like
Okay.
60 of us.
Okay.
And it's mostly old people, and the younger
Yeah.
families just moved, and most of them are going to where they
Oh, that's
go.
a disaster.
Why?
Well, I just think it's sad when people just all leave a church to go to the church that's more popular.
No, I know. And
Mm.
my, like,
We don't even have a pastor, a preaching pastor right now. So
Well, if you keep doing a good job at catechism, be careful.
You got the color.
I'm an up and comer.
before you know it.
Boy, this guy's hot.
So his dad and my dad, no, your grandpa,
Opa?
Opa,
Oh, my papa.
Papa,
Yeah.
Oh,
Reverend and Howard, our colleagues.
Name dropping there.
Our colleagues.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Help me understand. That would be your mom's dad.
Correct.
Your mom was it in here. Okay.
Yep.
Now, your dad's dad has passed away, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
And he was a legend, right?
He,
Oh, yeah.
He's
He was
just,
a legend.
he
Oprah.
just
One of your
was-
cousins had told me a lot of just
he
sounds
just-
like a great man.
Yeah,
Oh,
no,
yeah.
he was a legend in his
Okay.
own. And yeah,
Not in
Oprah-
his own mind like me. Like he was a legend.
No,
No, yeah.
no, he really was.
He
a
wasn't
legend.
making it up.
And their
That's
uncle
awesome.
was a helicopter pilot for the MAF.
Yep.
Passed away from
Okay.
cancer.
Yep.
Yep.
Okay.
Len, right?
Yeah.
I remember that.
Brain tumor.
And is your brother Len as well then?
Correct.
Okay, he's a couple years younger. than
Yeah,
me.
yeah.
Okay, it's all coming together.
Yeah.
Interesting.
You probably need my sister Jen.
She was
better.
a year older.
You're older than you.
Yeah.
Okay.
People
There's
love
no
this part of
Wingerdans
the
in my
content.
class. Yeah, we're gonna. It's too much, right? And you have 11 siblings. You should have one in every grade.
You
technically.
should,
Shouldn't
yeah.
have missed my.
You
Shouldn't have missed
It was
my
every
grade.
other year.
Two in mine.
It was,
Two in
okay.
mine. Twin
Yeah,
girls. in
that's
mine.
right. Yeah.
Yeah.
You doubled up.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
fun too.
So how many kids do you have, Tom?
I have 4 kids.
And how old are they?
7, 5, 3, and 1.
Wow, it's amazing you're even here.
It's amazing my wife let me come here.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Everything
No.
is always at Kyle's
Is-
house, so he doesn't understand why it's
know.
people are gone.
What do you mean?
She's just putting the kids
No,
to
no,
bed
no.
over there, and here we are chatting.
Hey, I was
Kaylee's
surprised
always
they jumped
supportive
on.
of
I was
it.
like, bring Tom. Tom said yes right away.
It's
Not
fun,
very many
yeah.
people say yes. So
No, most people do say no, and a lot of people that say
Okay.
yes weasel out, and at the 11th hour
I came
get
close.
scared. Okay, well,
I went
I like that
all
truth.
day long. I thought, when am I getting the text? When am I getting the? and
we're not
even-
going to Chilliwack
Yeah,
tonight.
and I probably
No,
just showed
and-
up alone and been like, he's such a loser. Like, what?
I don't know. I feel like I keep doing things lately that I'm not comfortable with.
That's
Good for
beautiful.
you.
I love it, Tom.
Good for you.
Like teaching catechism
So
class.
do I. So do I.
I didn't know you were teaching catechism. That's great. I love
That's
that.
awesome. That is awesome.
Oh,
And there are
that is
people-
actually the most
Listen.
uncomfortable thing I do.
There are people that listen to this faithfully that teach catechism class. I'm thinking of one of the guys right now.
Yeah?
Yeah, and I mean, it's interesting.
It's
because-
hard.
Well, it's hard for him to listen to this because we're so hard on his church, right? No, I'm just kidding. We're not. It's that idea of like,
Yeah.
you know, I think we're all somewhere in our journey and we're
Mhm.
never going to grow unless we get a bit uncomfortable. And it's
100%.
fascinating how people don't do that.
Yeah.
Sure. Or
What's,
this.
what's your
Or this,
perspective,
yeah.
Beans? Did you listen to from the very start of the podcast? Has it
I
challenged?
just love that Gary shuts you up once in a while and really humbles you.
you know
That is,
that?
I was telling Tom this. There's one thing, because you're always like ready to stir the pot, and Gary's like, no. We're gonna
Now,
just keep it normal.
people pleaser.
Yeah, no.
Oh man,
And
now
I
you're gonna
really-
put me in a negative camp, just trying to be a
Yeah, let's
peacemaker.
go.
Hey,
a
Peacemaker.
It's
My-
funny.
my
Every
counselor asked
Wednesday
me-
morning,
The
I have
voice
this
of
boring
reason.
hour drive, and I need something to listen to. So let's listen to these.
Is
two.
the podcast better than it used to be, or is it just as bad, or is it the same?
I think there's some weeks where you're like, okay, I didn't.
That was
like,
pretty boring.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
but then there's other times where like you'll be like, oh, feedback wasn't good, and I was like, no, I actually enjoyed that one.
Okay.
I mean, I sent one to my brother Kev the other day. Said, listen to this. I think it was when you had Tim Weirks on,
Yeah.
and then he texted Tim, and Tim goes, you got to be really careful what you say because the public is going to get to know it. And then I thought,
That is
I better
fun.
go on there.
You
just
know,
rattle
next
a few
time we
people.
should get like 20 Van Wingerdan.
Yeah, we should
brothers
come with
in
all
there.
of us. Really
No.
humble you.
Bring your dads.
Yeah, get the
that's a good
father
idea.
figures
No,
on
they
here.
don't. They don't.
Actually, just the dads.
I'll bring my dad.
Joe, could you?
He could do.
I
the-
could imagine.
You know, my uncle Steve
Kyle
told
would
me
be
a
a
story
puddle.
once. I thought you were going to talk about your dad and Opa Van Wingerdan, but
Oh,
back when Timothy had these big school auctions, and they might still, my uncle Steve used to donate his fishing boat. And
Oh, yeah.
and my dad would buy it for a lot of money, and he'd put your dad and my grandpa, and he'd make all these guys go fishing with my uncle Steve. And my uncle Steve said it was such a good time taking
remember-
all these.
I
old
remember.
guys,
That actually would
I
be.
remember
a
going.
blast.
I remember going with.
Yeah.
Uncle
Yeah,
Steve.
and there he was talking about that. He's like, "Oh, I used to like, hey, you're going fishing," and he'd kind of like, "What?" Like, "Yeah, I bought the boat. I don't need to go. That's my brother. You're going to go. My dad's going to go.
I don't want to
Yeah.
spend time with them.
Yeah.
See Steve and I.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, good times.
Is
Hey,
your-
we should talk about cows.
Yeah. Are you
Oh,
a
he's
beef
been
farmer?
itching.
Are you a
Well,
beef
He's
farmer?
been itching.
No,
Are you beef farming?
I know I took the buyout. No. So,
Sorry, are you serious?
yeah, no, I didn't. I got to explain. So, my dad
Settling.
and a buddy of his started C&D cattle when about 2 years before I moved in my place. Well, when I did, it connects to the greenhouses and it's all right in the same compound. They decided to do the beef cows in, the barn in the back on my property, blah, blah. Well, I had like 15 cows as part of this herd. And a couple of years ago, I sold my part of it. But this morning, the 45 pregnant cows got transferred from an old dairy barn that we rent for the winter back to my place. So we'll start calving next week. And yeah, so we, I don't know, about 150.
So you have a cow calf operation.
Yeah.
On a small scale.
Yeah.
And what are they? What type of beef cows are they?
They're 90% black Angus, a little bit of red Angus.
Okay.
But they're all, the past 2 years, they've all been bred by what I refer to as an Aberdeen Angus bull, so a low line.
Okay.
And we've been 100% on calving. And you always talk about the price when they hit the ground. Well, we sent 10 to auction that were like 575 pounds, and yeah, it's paying pretty
So what did
well.
they sell for a pound?
They were like just over 2,000 an animal. So I don't know. I
$4.
yeah.
So
I mean,
like-
it's
so like
nuts
nine-
right
nine
now.
grand
I mean,
American?
you
Canadian,
talk
sorry?
about it. I'm always like, go into it a little more. It's wild. Like it's the beef market is crazy.
Something is broken.
Yeah, no, clearly.
It's not getting better yet.
No, it's getting worse.
Really?
It
Every
the last-
month, every three weeks. Like now, calves are. I don't know if I've said it recently, but they're $1,900 for.
Because you said
an
like
Angus
3
calf.
months ago, at some point it's going to flip, and like the demand
I
is
think
gonna...
so, but and somebody said to me the other day, I was at a farm, and his beef revenue has doubled. Like he's milks, I think about 300 cows here, and his beef revenue off his farm went from 300,000 a year to 600,000 a year. So you think on a dairy,
That's crazy.
Well, that's the net income. Like
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
more than you make. Like
Yeah.
so, it's fascinating how we're going to have to adjust. I think dairy is going to be. I mean, beef guys are going to be really affected too, but I think dairy, because dairy hasn't been that great,
Mm-hmm.
it'll be really affected.
But like this,
Sorry, you talked about the buyout. Is that happening?
No,
It is happening, I
I
think.
know, but I'm like, I was kidding. I sold my, 15 cows because I felt like I was spending too much time feeding them and dealing with them. And then I wasn't really, once in a while, I'd get a little bit of money out of it. And I was like, my dad's like the silent guy in it, and his buddy Kurt does it all. But like, this was kind of a hobby. We have a couple hills around the greenhouse.
Oh, I've
that
seen the
you-
videos.
And now you're sitting
He
here going,
got a whole bunch of information on you guys apparently before you.
No, just literally
No,
following him,
'cause-
seeing in the stories.
That's what he was doing in the driveway.
Quickly
But-
doing my homework.
it's funny when you have like dairy guys or like, you know, that are like, oh, you guys got like, well, how many cows you got? Oh, about 40, whatever. Okay. And the calves from last year, well, they're in that pen. So you got about, so they're all going to calve, and they start doing the math. And they're like,
they
this is
love
just
the
for
math.
the fun of it.
Yeah.
And like, the old guy that's involved is, I think, about 75. And if he decided he was done, I think
They would all get sold.
Yeah.
So when do you feed them all out, or do you sell some calves
No,
really young,
we don't sell any of them young. We'll sell them.
like at 5 weights?
Yeah. That actually was like a little bit early for us, but it's just so weird right now. Like, we used to be renting a little bit of land to make some round bales, and now it's like, forget it. You can buy them so cheap. And,
The feed is cheap.
an old dairy farm is done. We literally buy and stack round bales there, and you put them there for the winter, and you don't have to deal with them. And
It's fascinating. Like, I've been farming since 2011, and I grew up working on dairy farms, and the hay is cheaper. Like, it's cheaper than 20 years ago.
Really?
Right now.
Crazy.
It's the cow price is basically back to where it was. Like, it's not quite as bad because beef is so high that beef keeps the cow price up. But when I started selling cows back in 2008, which is almost 20 years ago now, fresh cows were selling for $2,600, right? And today, I mean, they're not that low, but they're $35, $4,000, and you can't even give a cow away in BC right now because there's so much milk. Like
Crazy.
and we have a quota system, as you guys do too. You won't want to admit it, but like the dairy farmers have, supply management.
you
there
talk
in
to dairy
Washington State.
farmers in Washington right now. They are not
They're
happy.
hurting. They're hurting. What do you think the answer to that is? The beef buyout?
I don't
What is
know.
the beef buyout?
The beef buyout is Trump saying beef prices are too high
Oh.
and milk prices are too low. Let's get all the
Balance
milk
it.
cows and beef them all and do the flipperoo.
But like,
I don't think that's the
this
answer.
whole dairy
I think
gold
that-
thing.
feel
is
like
It'll
all-
work short term.
Sure.
yeah.
But it's
It'd be a
market
quick-
manipulation, right?
Yeah,
Yes,
but I
like
mean,
it-
you're allowed to do that, right? It's free.
Yeah,
country. You're allowed
that's
to
fine.
manipulate the market.
Not capitalist.
But that
dairy
doesn't
gold.
stabilize it.
I mean, the only reason I'm kind of okay with it is because I feel so bad for American dairy farmers.
Yeah.
Especially smaller farms. Oh, I feel bad for all of them, but like,
Because you can't really small farm
well,
anymore.
and I guess the idea is like, is 500 cows a small farm? In the U.S. it is.
Yeah.
So,
Not
but
like-
why not do both? Like, why not on a dairy farm do some beef?
They are. That's
They
what
are.
we do now.
They're beef
Okay,
farmers.
so then what's
They're
the
beef-
problem?
The smart guys are beef farmers.
Right.
The problem is that the pendulum will swing, and then
Uh-huh.
once again, the dairy farmer will be screwed. Now he got out of all his dairy. He doesn't have near the
Sure.
replacements on the
So keep
heifer
it
side.
balanced.
Yeah, and I think, and it's been done before. Like
Yeah.
the beef buyout has
Yeah,
literally
yeah,
been done
yeah,
before
yeah.
in America. This is not something new.
But
Like Americans
I'm
have an
talking
amazing way of trying to, sorry,
No, I'm not the beef buyout. The whole dairy gold thing that's going on right now.
that's a separate issue.
Yeah,
It
I
is
know.
getting rectified, eh?
Yeah,
It's just very painful.
I know. It's like, oh, let's spend all this money, put in a new plant, and then we're going to take money out of your milk to pay it off.
So like at the peak about 7-8 months ago, like almost, I think it was about 27% of a farmer's milk check was taken off.
Yeah.
Which
And
is
I'm like,
insane.
and I'm
By
like,
us,
learning about this,
we
I'm
live
like,
in
what are you talking
communist
about?
country and
Like,
it's 10%, like on a bad month, right?
I know.
They just
crazy.
take everything else.
So that's why I
Yeah.
actually, when you say, "Oh, we know," I know they
That's
have a
brutal.
worse quota system.
You must have heard on a recent podcast. I did the math on living here versus living in Florida, making around like $250,000-$300,000 a year. You save $50,000 in tax living in
Okay,
Florida.
but
That's crazy.
why are you need to like compare a house in Chilliwack to a house in Linden, because you guys would
that
be
too, yeah.
mind blown
Yeah.
how cheap.
What is it?
Real estate.
3-bedroom house, Lynn.
Oh, like 470.
Okay, that's not super far off.
No, but I mean,
That's like seven.
Get outta
That's like
here.
$750 Canadian, right?
Where?
Tom's gonna go buy one. That's a good deal.
they're hitting that. They're
There's
all
no
dropping
way.
below 500.
Hey, are they dropping? Like, is real estate tanking in the U.S. like it is here?
Yeah, I mean, a little like
I don't think it's tanking.
It's
No, it's-
sagging. Sagging is how I
Yeah.
describe
It's
it.
a little
Stagflation.
slump.
It's
You know
not
why?
tanking,
A little
but it's-
slump. Just a tiny blip. Have you watched The Big Short? Just a tiny blip.
Yeah.
I see a crash coming.
It's not that. It's more just money starting to have value again, and it's so hard to adjust when we've lived in a 20 or
Yeah.
30-year cycle of just
Yeah.
buy whatever
You're
hard
used
asset
to it.
you can.
Yeah.
Time will take care of you. Well, now you better have a plan on how to make the interest payments.
yeah, no, that,
Guys, we're an hour and a half.
And Kyle does not. He decides when the show's over. Is it over?
Yeah, we're done.
Can't do it anymore.
Well, it's an hour and a half. I mean, I'm talked out.
Dustin is just getting warmed up. He's
Yeah.
not even got to talk
Just
yet.
ready to rip.
Another vodka.
Dustin's never been talked out.
You guys usually act like you're done, and it's like, wow, they talked for 42 minutes, but you must chop a lot out.
Nothing is
we
ever get
don't.
topped out.
No, nothing.
That's the whole show.
I know
So
we
what you
could
see
go
is
on
what
way
you get.
longer, but he's in charge, and he just says, "Hey, we're over." And I'm always like, man, if you get bored, you just turn it off. There's lots of podcasts I get 36
Yeah,
minutes
that's
in, and I'm
true.
like, okay, guys, that was
Yeah.
you've lost me.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of podcasts out there.
I only clipped out I think I've clipped out one racist joke from Gary in 82 episodes, 85, and like a bunch of clips from Matt
Well,
Keane.
now he's
tonight.
gonna
All the
have to do
all the
two
rest of the
because-
racist
Yeah.
jokes are left
Yeah.
in.
It was a funny one. We just couldn't publish it.
No, it was not appropriate.
No, I don't remember what it was, but it was like 30,
No.
40.
You're
Even
supposed
today,
to not remember. Like,
you're supposed to
That's right.
forget
Yeah.
horrible things.
Yeah, that's right.
The I mean, even the comment about the Iran thing. I mean, that was
Which one?
it just was
Bizarre.
ironic that it happened.
it was weird.
Well, it was coming. They had like an armada of ships around there. Like,
Yeah.
I
and
didn't.
what
realize-
happened? Oil,
Sorry,
oil,
I didn't
oil has
realize that.
exploded, right?
No, it hasn't. Hardly. No, it's there's so much oil in the world. It's insane. The
Hey.
solution to high commodity prices is high
Can-
commodity prices, and same with on the other end.
I need to use the podcast to advertise something.
Oh, you totally
Okay, go
can.
ahead.
Tom
Okay,
advertised
push.
his
Yeah.
greenhouse
Okay,
for half
push.
an hour,
So
and
for
all his software
for all
companies.
Shut up,
the
Bart.
Canadians that travel to the U.S. and you take Highway 9 south to go to Eastern Washington.
Okay, this is
You
all
go-
the Canadians in BC.
Yeah, Canadians in BC. Sorry, I guess.
This is a big listener base. Eh?
Yeah,
There's like
no,
7
yeah.
people that listen on the East
Yeah.
Coast, 4 in Ontario.
Three people from Alberta,
It's
and
Eight.
Gary might put all these pieces together. But if you ever
Oh,
are
man.
traveling to Eastern Washington
Yeah.
and you're taking Highway 9 south, make a pit stop in the big town of Acme at the Acme Diner, because my in-laws own the Acme
Oh,
Diner,
yeah.
Okay,
and it's worth the food, and
Okay.
it's about halfway between
what do you order?
Chilliwack and Winthrop, and it's just a great little
American food,
I've been there.
big burger.
place.
Yeah.
whatever
Whatever you want.
you want. I mean, they have it all, but it's just diner food. I don't know. It's
I
You
went to
could get a bad case of the Scours, but it'll be worth it.
The what?
Scour.
Wait. You never told your constipation story.
See, we're not done.
What was that about?
On his honeymoon.
Well, it just happened to be where I was, guys. Your mind's totally going in the wrong spot. But I basically was my wife and I stayed at some place in Sunshine Coast, beautiful place, Rockwater Retreat or something. It's like these tents overlooking the ocean. And we had a very short honeymoon because I had like a trade show to do at some horse show to sell hay like on the weekend. So like we went till like Wednesday or whatever, 3 nights. But on the
It's not the same man.
last night,
Yeah.
unfortunately, I am the same. But I started having horrible stomach pains partway through the day. And then I got worse and worse. And finally at night, it's like 10 o'clock. And Marie's like, well, I got to go to bed. I'm tired. I'm like, well, I got to go deal with my stomach pains. Like, maybe I just need to really take a shit. I better go get some laxatives or something. So I go into town. It's like a half an hour drive. We got one vehicle, right? And
One vehicle? Do you?
the two of us, yeah, we didn't drive separate.
Wow.
Normally we drive separate when we go to
On your
places just for
honeymoon.
cases like
On our
this.
honeymoon,
Especially my honeymoon.
Solid honeymoon.
I
You
know
just
how
never
this is gonna
know
go.
how we're
Everybody's
leaving.
like, oh, now it makes sense why he has a hard marriage. He's an asshole. Anyways, I digress. But so I go into town and I can't find any place that's open. And I'm starting to get like worse and worse shape. Like I'm turning green or I don't know what's happening, but I'm like dying inside, right? So all of a sudden I go to the hospital and then I don't remember anything. It turns out I had passed out and I fell into a flower bed. And I actually have another flower bed story now that's making me think of when I was younger. But I go into, I fall in the flower bed and at some point I wake up and I'm in the emergency and they're dealing with me. And I guess I had like a twist, like something in my intestine, like they did a CT scan and I had somewhere my intestines were twisted, like my small intestine or something. And the doctor's like, man, if you had taken those laxatives, like
Game over.
game over. Like
Oh,
I would have
wow.
had serious problems. So it was a blessing that didn't happen.
Wow.
And
So how did Marie find you?
Marie was, 20 at the time, very young. I won't say how old I was. I was substantially older. She was terrified. Finally, in the morning, like I'm awake, and I said, "Oh, you better shoot! I'm on my honeymoon. You better call this place." So she had no phone with her. She calls this resort and says, "Hey, can you catch a cab down to the local hospital? Your
Holy
husband's in
smokes.
emergency." So,
I had
anyways,
no idea.
They didn't have Uber
I
back
didn't have
then?
excitement
No
like that
Uber.
on my honeymoon.
not in 2010.
No, me neither. Me neither.
Twisted intestines.
Anyways,
Oh,
great
man.
way to end
Gnarly.
the podcast.
She's been twisting my innards ever since.
I want to hear the flower bed story.
Good shitty story.
No, we're done. We're done.
I had one story about a cop that you started the podcast with a cop catching you, right? At one time, I came to my house at like 3 o'clock on a Sunday afternoon. A cop came to my house and he wanted to talk to me. So my dad got me outside. I went and talked to him for a while. And I was driving around a little too fast around town. And so he told me to slow down to give me a ticket. So I go inside. My dad's like, what was that about? I was like, I can't talk about it. I need to turn myself in within 48 hours. went to my room, and then later he had to preach at night. And at suppertime, he's like, "Can you really not tell me what happened?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm fine. I was just driving too fast." It's just like got up and left. So
You're terrible.
thanks for listening, guys. Thanks for coming
Thanks,
on.
Americans, for coming on. It was
Appreciate
actually
it.
a lot more civilized and respectful than I thought.
We
If I
didn't
had
even
You
to
thought it was
about
going to be
hockey.
worse?
Yeah, we didn't even talk about hockey.
We've avoided the one thing we
Shocking.
could not talk about it.
We could go into overtime. Oh, wait, you lost in overtime.
Can't do overtime.
We got rid of overtime.
Good job, boys.
Peace.
Have a
See ya.
great week.
Okay, come
Join
in.
in for the picture.
Oh, I see. We got to take a picture.
Yeah.
With all the candy on the table?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Mostly we ate it. Cheese.
Thanks.
Thanks, boys. I got to piss so bad.
Yeah.
Like Tom on a school bus in 1996.
There's some truth to that.
Pebble.
That was good. Next week, Wednesday.
Thanks for having us. Thanks for the
Yeah,
vodka.
It is Lekawatam up here.
If you do your hockey tournament again. Hey guys, if you enjoyed that episode and were blessed by it, would you be willing to support the show? That would help a lot in creating more content, improving the quality of the content, putting the production value, getting more guests on, and me being able to spend more time and energy towards it. So if you're interested in doing that, you can click up here and it'll take you to a support page. But you can also subscribe to the podcast by clicking over here and doing that. Thanks again for listening, and I'll catch you on the next one.